Yeah, welcome, welcome.
How are you doing?
It's been a couple weeks, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's been uh, a a whole other level of processing,
Yeah,
right? And I think that what has been really on my heart this morning is truth. And real truth, solid truth, rings true on every level of our existence. Every level of existence, right? You can look back through time and you can see people that were laying down truth. And you're like, that's true. No matter how you turn it or twist it, that statement is true. And it's always going to be true. And I guess what I've really learned out of this journey with my father's death is there's just always more to the story, even when you think you've got it all. Right?
yeah,
There's just always more to the story. And, bits have risen up and dots have been connecting, right? And I thought I was done, right? So that's something we really need to understand, right? And what I'm feeling, I can't even put it in the grief category. I don't know if there's a word for it.
You thought you were done with what?
Processing, right? I thought I was done processing. And, within this last year, my father through his dementia, admitted out loud to my brother that he had molested me. Right? And that went from idea category to real. Right? Even though I knew it was real, it was still an idea until the 3D intersected with it, right? And it's like, yeah, that that is true. And I think for all of us, we're bumping up against things that we have been claiming are as our truth for a long time. We can create a story out of anything. And with a thought, string bits and pieces together, right? But it's interesting that that one piece of information connected a bazillion more dots that I didn't have any claim around, right? So I think being open and allowing our stories to be have loose edges is really important, right? Because as soon as we like declare, yeah, this is exactly what happened, you're going to be knocked off your feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to be trapped in that and never get to actually put it away. You know what I mean? So,
If we had all the information we needed, if we had the whole story, then we wouldn't have had all the symptoms and issues we have with with PTSD.
yeah,
And if you go through traumas, you're not going to have the whole story because a part of trauma is a lot of times people telling you something is true or real that isn't.
yeah.
Or you telling yourself that because whatever's happening is messed up. And so you just tell yourself what you need to cope. So we have to know that a part of this processing or coming to the truth is recognizing that we don't have all the parts and that some of the parts we made up. And so,
And that isn't about blame.
no,
Because
it's
truly
not.
it becomes a release of blame.
Yeah.
Because the blame lies in the story often, right? Now,
Hmm.
you know, I had a lot more emotion wrapped up because usually truth doesn't feel much. We have to know that too, right? All the emotional feelings often come in the story and the words that we paste around whatever happened. And there were more words over here in the unknown that they are than there are now in the known. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, it's like how you've said that the truth is simple and childlike.
Yeah.
Like when my daughter's 10, one of my daughter's 10, and when she tells me, she's very matter of fact. She's still in that childlike age, but when she tells me something she feels or that happened, there's not a lot of words, but there doesn't need to be.
Yeah. It's just direct. Right? The more words we use, the less we know what we're saying.
Wow. That's interesting.
And when I use too many words with her, she's like, "What, Mama?"
Yeah. What
And
are
then
you
I'm like,
trying
I
to
take
say?
a couple steps back. I'm like, let me say this again. What am I saying? And do I need all this different words? No.
By the age of 7, right, our words are in place. Right? That's our default dictionary.
Oh no.
So when we are bumping up against something that has us install, we're going to go back to that default dictionary, and that's going to be the words that we use to describe whatever we're experiencing, right? Which sets it in a place that in the old story, right? One thing that's been interesting is that, you know, I've had a lot of people, you know, oh, I'm sorry about your dad and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't fit, right? That's a social norm that a person that rises out of something like that goes, that doesn't fit. And I don't know that there is a word for what I'm feeling right now. And that's okay. That's okay. Right? I wouldn't say it's grief. I don't even know what it is. Right? But what we have to understand, you know, I've traveled the world and back trying to find forgiveness since I was in my 20s. Like, how can I grow and move forward, right, with all of that? And what I can say is forgiveness is in truth, right? Because when we're in truth, we don't have the need to pick anymore. And the picking keeps us connected to that old story and the pain, right? And even if you're not consciously picking, this is picking. That's why, as Mary was saying, we wake up in the morning feeling uncomfortable, right? And then we go, scotch tape, scotch tape, scotch tape. Okay, I'm good, right? Rather than excavating that and putting it away, right? That's been our way of processing, right?
Forgiveness comes with, can you say that again? The first thing you said?
Real true forgiveness comes with the truth, for real. Like I had so many experiences around my father, and through the years, like he was owning, you know, because he'd been drinking since he was, you know, 12, 14, right? So, you know, all of his choices that he made throughout his life until he quit drinking were bass backwards. And, you know, from the time he quit drinking, you watch this evolution of thought. And with each of those evolutions, right, came evolution in me and my being able to see had been trapped inside there.